What's up, gamers? Sprint My Shed here. Just wanted to do a review slash impressions of Evolve. I've had a lot of time with the game now to be able to think that I can give my opinion on it. When I first I haven't been following Evolve closely, and initially I wasn't even going to bother with it when I heard about it. But the only reason I think I just kind of what I seen, I kind of thought 4 versus 1 could get a bit repetitive. I don't know if it'd be able to keep me entertained as long as the game actually could. I don't know. So initially I wasn't even going to buy it, and the guys that I play online with were saying, one of them had played the beta. He said it was amazing. He said it was one of the best games he's played. He says it's definitely worth buying, definitely worth a look. And they all said they were getting it, so I had a bit of spare cash, and I thought, right, I'll pick it up. I ended up picking it up. Picked it up for about 40 to 45 pounds. Took it home, started playing it. Played it for a good 3 hours. I was playing it on my own, but I was playing online with the random people. Loved playing as the monster. I think playing as the monster when you're playing on your own rather than with friends is a lot better. The reason I say that is because I find that when you play online and you just get thrown in with a bunch of random people, if you're playing as the hunters, it wound me up a lot because there was always people doing a Call of Duty or a Battlefield and just being a lone wolf douchebag. Wanting to run off and seize all the glory for themselves, when you can't actually play like that, because it is a heavy team-based game. It's the 4 hunters that you play as, they've all got important roles. We'll just have a look at them now. So you can go the hunter or the monster. Playing the monster is amazing. I couldn't fault the monster at all. Playing as the hunter, because you're playing with other people, these other people kind of let the team down and don't play as a team or as a whole unit, which we'll go into now. I usually got stuck lumbered being the medic. And the medic's job is to keep the rest of the team alive, basically. So I was running around like a blue-ass fly, trying to heal people, revive people, stuff like that. But when I got killed, and I was waiting to be revived, nobody would come and revive me. And I'm thinking, well, it's quite important. To an important role, the medic. You're keeping everybody. They've all got important roles. What I'm trying to say is the whole team, every single one of these classes has got a part to play in the game. The assault deals the most damage to the monster, and he's got a shield that he can generate around himself, so he takes no damage. The trapper, it's their job to track down the monster and trap it into this big dome. You throw a grenade down and this dome appears, turning it into like a mini arena. And then you've got a medic. The only bad thing about the trapper is when you first start with it, you've got a little dog kind of dinosaur creature called Daisy, and she's fucking useless. Absolutely fucking awful. The medic, you can use a healing gun, you can revive people from the dead, and they can use snipers, they can heal the group, stuff like that. Support is just they've got this shield generator, they can use that, they've got airstrikes they can call in and stuff like that. So every single one of these people on the team has a certain role to play, and when you play as a team, when you play together and you play into everyone's strengths, and you're all working, all the cogs are turning, the team's working together, that's when Evolve is at its peak, and that's when Evolve shines, especially if you're playing with people in your friends list. But if you're playing online but you're not playing with your friends online, it's one of these games, you've really got to talk to each other, you've got to communicate, so if you're one of these people that I used to be like, where I didn't like to talk on the microphone, I didn't like engaging and talking to complete strangers that I met online, I wouldn't buy this game. If you are one of these players that likes to go off and do their own thing, and doesn't like team play, then I would certainly not recommend this game for you. It is a heavy-based team game, and when I was playing online with a bunch of random people, you'd get worst case scenario, you get somebody who was the medic, and they'd run off and do the wrong thing, and then they'd get killed, and then that's leaving the rest of the team vulnerable, and you're just gonna fucking die. And that's basically the monster's won. Like I say, can't fault the monster. Excuse me. Fault the monster had, the monster's great. There's 3 monsters, a Goliath, a Kraken, and a Wraith. You start with the Goliath. Goliath's my personal favourite. I think it's the most used, actually, out of the 3. There is another one on the way called Behemoth. It's just like a big, massive ball. But Evolves, it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game. Like I say, when it's the best experience you can have with Evolve, in my opinion, is when you've got 5 friends to play with out of your friends list, and you're all in a party, and you're all talking to each other, and you're all communicating. That is how Evolve's meant to be played, and if you are playing Evolve like that, then you're going to have some amazing games. I've had some amazing games like that. But when your friends aren't online, and you do get put into other people with random people, you know, that's when the teamwork crumbles and fails, because, you know, people aren't talking with each other on the microphone, people aren't communicating, there's people running off and doing their own thing, and the team's broken up, and that's when the monster can pick you off. When you're playing as a monster, it doesn't matter, you're playing on your own, you are the lone wolf, you are doing your own thing. So people that want to do that, I would recommend going the monster. But yeah, and the game modes, there's only really one game mode. I mean, I know there'll be people that will comment and say, no, there's actually 3 or 4, but if you actually, in my experience with playing online, you've got quick play, which throws you into anything, then you've got hunt, which is your bread and butter, that's your main game mode that everyone plays on. That's certainly the one I play the most on. Nobody ever really votes for these ones. They're just, these are basically hunt with a few little extra goals thrown in. And then you've got evacuation, which is, they say it's the campaign. I'm going to use exclamation marks around that, but all it is 5 maps, 4 versus 1, hunters versus monsters. If the monster wins the first map, then the next map will favour the monster. There'll be some sort of perk for the monster, like there'll be more food for the monster to eat, or there'll be something that will disadvantage the hunters, and if the hunters win a map, then there'll be something there'll be like a hovering spaceship that can detect the monster every now and again. So really there's only one game mode, or a few variations of the same game mode, should we say. What else can we show? DLC. This game is, it takes the piss with DLC. It is a heavily based DLC game. The developers did come out and say before it came out that it was built heavily around DLC. But unfortunately, you know, it's just the same old shit you're seeing in all these new games coming out at the moment. All these microtransactions, all this stuff, the stuff I hate. Absolutely hate stuff like this. Season pass for 20 quid. You know, skins for your monsters that add nothing to the game at all, apart from, you know, these could have been things you could have unlocked in the game rather than paid. And I think the excuse the guy gave was the team said that the families of the developers needed to benefit, so we needed to, something like that. Anyway, I'm sure I read something like that. Yeah, there's all these monster skins for £2.49. You can buy them singly, or you can buy them all together, because we all like to get fucked up the arse with DLC. And the only way DLC is going to stop is if people stop buying it. But unfortunately, there will be people out there that will look at that and go, "Oh God, I need a hide sword skin for £1.69. I'm going to buy that." It adds nothing to the game at all. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. A blue sniper rifle costs me £1.69. Trapper, different stuff like that. You know, different skins. Look, Daisy changes from green to maroon and white for £1.69. I'm just dead against DLC, and unfortunately this game takes the piss with DLC. The new monsters, there's going to be new monsters apparently. They're going to be about 10 quid each, just for a new character. But you know, I don't, like I say, when Evolve's working, when you're playing it with, when it's how it's supposed to be played, which is with 5 friends talking online, it's amazing. You have some great experiences. The gameplay, the maps the maps, you start with 12 maps, and I'm not even exaggerating, I think the maps are amazing. I think they are the best maps I've seen in a game, if ever. I mean, I remember saying that. You're just constantly looking around and you're thinking, wow, this is so, these in-depth maps, there's high levels, you can go underground, there's caves, stuff like that. There's loads of places for the monster to hide. The maps, I can't fault the maps at all. And apparently they're bringing out free maps in the DLC, so you don't have to pay for new maps, which is really good. But it's just all the other fiddly bullshit that I don't like. The gameplay is good. The jetpack battery could do with being a bit bigger and last a bit longer. Frustrating thing about the game, playing the game, is if you're playing as the hunter, it's just there's a lot of running. You're chasing shadows a lot of the time. It depending on how the monster's playing, but usually the monster gets dropped in before the hunters, and then the monster's got to run off and eat loads of food, and then evolve, and then come back into the game. And then, you know, it's like the hunter becomes the hunted kind of thing. But the hunters, it's very tedious, very frustrating, because you could run from one end of the map. You know, the monster could have disturbed some birds in the distance, so you see these birds fly off, so you know the monster's in that direction. So you're running over there, and then you'll get there, and then he could have double backed and gone behind you. And there's a lot of running. There's just a lot of running, and then running and running. And even when you're the monster and you jump in, you've got to run away, and you know. But yeah, it's like I say, it's a 50. I think just what I'm trying to say, in my opinion, I think it's bang average. I think it's an average game that got a little bit too much hype. I don't think these gaming sites that have reviewed it, like IGN give it a 9, GameSpot give it an 8, it's doing good on Metacritic. They're all giving it good reviews because when it works and when it plays well, it's amazing. But I don't think they've overlooked the fact that it is really, really repetitive. You know, essentially it's pretty much just one game mode with a few little variations here and there, and it's just 4v1, and that's it. And with a shitload of DLC, but I just think it's average. And I think I've gone as far as I can go with Evolve. I don't think there's enough here, content-wise, to keep me going, to keep me fighting through it, to keep me playing. You know, even when I'm playing, but you know, we don't really play a lot of it now. I think everyone's kind of feeling the same. Everyone's feeling a bit like, oh well, you know, you get it, you buy it, you play it for a bit, and then it's just like, oh, the novelty's worn off a little bit, I think. But you know, if you're a heavily based team player, and you know you've got a lot of friends in your friends list, and you do play, you know, like to communicate on the microphone with a lot of people, random strangers, then you know it is the game for you. Unfortunately, if you are a bit of a Call of Duty guy or a Battlefield guy and you like to run off and do your own thing, don't even bother with this game, because you're gonna fuck everything up for everybody else who's trying to play. You're gonna fuck things up for the team that you're playing on, and yeah. So, but at least we've bought it, played it. It's one of them games. It's getting good reviews. You know, it seems to be doing well. I think there's a lot of people are probably feeling the same. That it's just, I don't think there's enough here to keep people going. There's only enough 4 versus 1 you can play. I mean, unless they bring out some new maps, sharpish and new game modes, then I don't think I can carry on with this. And it looks as though I'm probably going to trade it in while it's still worth something. So I think I might try and get Battlefield Hardline, and I'm not getting the order of Bloodborne's a definite. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little review on that one. If I had to give it a score, I don't really like giving scores on reviews, but I would say, because it's bang average, I'd say give it a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6. But that's me being really, really critical. But that's what I thought of Evolve anyway. If you liked any of this, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment. If you love Evolve, let me know. And we'll see you again for another video, guys. Cheers.